Well, hello there, I'm Detroit. I was a bit bored earlier and I had this great idea. I thought about how I don't really remember being bored often as a kid. To be fair, even today I'm rarely bored, occupying myself with job hunting, drawing, writing a book, and so on. But still, how did I do things back when I didn't have all these activities as a child? And so today I'm revisiting something I used to do, not every other day but still fairly regularly, and that's making a wire sculpture, in today's case a yarn doll. To follow along you need iron wire, or whichever wire you have on hand, a strong plier and some yarn. Additionally scissors, and smaller pliers if you have them. It's quite a simple tutorial, and since it's not something I've done in a long time, it gives me a lot of joy. First, we need to make a ball. I'd recommend making the ball around the size of your thumb. Simply take a large length of wire and wrap it around itself. Try to make it somewhat dense and somewhat even, so a lot of twist as to not wrap in the same orientation all the time. That is step 1, for which you don't need the pliers yet. The size of your wire ball doesn't matter too much, but do consider that we'll be adding a lot of yarn to it later, so it will be almost twice as big at the end. For step 2, we start using the pliers by making the body of the doll. The length of the neck will be about the size of the yarn we'll be adding to the head, so make the neck quite long. A good rule for proportions, I guess, is to have all the body parts be the same length except the head. So the length of the neck is the same as the length of a single arm, a leg and the torso. By using the pliers, I'm making clear 90-degree angles, which are much easier than with fingers alone. It's also very useful to press on the hands of the doll. This is a very simple wire structure, but you still need to have the back and forth of wire touching each other. Once you have the body sculpted, don't cut the wire straight away. Keep a good length to pierce the head with and wrap around to make sure the body doesn't move too much relative to the head. Make sure you always have the end of the wire inside the head instead of poking out, or you risk stabbing yourself with it like you would with a threading needle. Alright, so far so good. Now we can start playing with the yarn. I'm using white yarn because it's the only kind I own, but you can use whichever kind you prefer, obviously. I'd still recommend thin yarn though, unless you're making a giga doll. My first step for the yarn is to thread it through the head once or twice, just to ensure it ties to it. Then we start wrapping around the head. Same as for the wire from earlier, try to change orientations as much as you can so you can wrap it around evenly. At the same time, make sure you always wrap the yarn around the diameter of the head instead of off to the side. Because we want to make the yarn tight, you're gonna pull on it regularly, and if it's off to the side, you will just unwrap it and make it loose if it's not around the diameter. And then it's yarn wrapping, more yarn wrapping, and still more yarn wrapping. The goal is to get a head that's as round as possible and without any bits of wire visible. Once that's done, wrap the yarn twice around the neck to make sure the head is tightly wound when you let go, and now you can do the body. For the body, keep the yarn as tight as possible and wrap around each body part, again making sure you can't see the wire. For the arms, you'll end up wrapping once towards the outside, then one more towards the inside. At the hands though, keep the tip of the wire free to make sure the yarn doesn't go off. Do the same on the other arm and each leg. For the torso, I usually wrap it not twice, but 4 times to make it slightly thicker. Once you're done, now comes the hard part, if we can even call a part of this process hard. Honestly, it's quite a simple process. I did it as a child. When you're done wrapping the whole doll, you're satisfied with the size of the head, which by now should touch the shoulders. You should have a length of yarn close to the head. I wrap it twice around the neck again, and at this point I cut the yarn and use small pliers to push the end of the yarn inside the head, or even make a small knot, just to ensure it stays tight. You can now fold the arms and legs, and there you go, you have a nice yarn doll. In the past, I remember making some with alternating yarn colors as well, or even have the head a different color from the body. Something you can also do to custom the doll a bit is to use a bit of colored yarn or simply colored thread and wrap it around parts of the head to make eyes. At the end of this video, I even sew in a mouth with red wire. That part really is up to you. The only thing I can tell you is to remember to always push the loose ends inside the head so it looks better. And that is about it. In less than half an hour, you can have a small yarn doll companion that you've done yourself. This whole doll took me 27 minutes, with half of that just to make the eyes and the mouth. So 15 minutes is all you need for a simple doll without a soul. Now, you can even do fancier things with your doll. For example, if during the process you add a hair from your enemy, then put the doll inside a pentagram of salt after you've dipped it in wax. The perspectives are endless, and more importantly, you can do whatever you want with your enemy. But it's just a possibility. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial out of nowhere. Subscribe because next week I'll be drawing, I promise. I'm Detroit, Harvester of Souls, and I wish you a good day. Bye!